Good morning, everybody. This is Judith Echo. You're listening to Mad Love. Let's get into it. So, these are crazy times. Absolutely. And one of the craziest things I heard yesterday probably won't register on most people's radars as crazy, but it's crazy to me. So I heard yesterday that Charlemagne and the Breakfast Club show moved exclusively to Netflix, and they're frustrated by this because I don't know if they didn't realize it or if Netflix didn't make it clear, but now Netflix owns the show. They basically bought it from iHeartRadio. And so they own everything. They own all the catchphrases. Everything that you remember about the Breakfast Club now belongs to Netflix. Also meaning they can't really nurture their YouTube audience like they used to. I think because Netflix has moved into podcasts, they didn't just license the show. It sounds like they bought the show. And so anything that goes on YouTube now will be coming from or any social media will be coming from Netflix on behalf of the show and not them. So what's weird to me is, why would you have a successful business? Now this is what I saw. So if it's not true, somebody else is going around saying that this is the case. But apparently there was something that one of the hosts wanted to do that she couldn't do anymore because it was owned by Netflix. And they're like, nah, you can't really get out here and do it the way you used to do it. So like any show that's owned by a network, the network is doing their social media. The network is releasing clips on YouTube, not the show, which is strange because that's how that show grew. So my point I was trying to make, which is the weird and crazy part, is why would you sell something that you own to become an employee? And maybe you didn't completely own it, but you had a lot more autonomy as a radio show with a huge presence on YouTube than being part of Netflix. I'm going to tell you right now, if you own something, if that IP belongs to you and you've got a decent deal, don't ever trade it to become an employee. It's not worth it. You've already built the brand. So there's one of two things happening. Either they were put in a position where they didn't really have a choice but to become part of Netflix, or the numbers looked so good in terms of money that they were like, fuck it, who cares? We're just gonna, without realizing everything they were giving up, which probably was the case. I don't know. But if any of this is true, man, that they are the donkeys of the day, because that is not what you do. When you own a business and you are successful in that business, don't let your eyes get turned by numbers and checks. It's just not worth it. It's not worth it at all. Because at the end of the day, you had freedom. And this is what I think is the play. And I don't know that they understood this when they were signing. They've been very, very outspoken about everything on that show. And they enjoyed a freedom without being censored on that show. I'm not sure that Netflix is going to continue that. Oh, of course, in the meetings, they all say, hey, listen, we love you. This is this is what we want. You are what we want. If we wanted a different show, we would have gone and made this deal with them. But we like what you do, blah, blah, blah. Okay? And that's how it starts. I've even had meetings like that. You're brilliant. This is great. And then the next thing you know, they're like, here's what we want to change. And it's like, we just had this conversation where I was so great. So here's the thing. I'm going to guess, because Charlemagne has been so outspoken on politics, so outspoken on Trump and all these other different aspects of our society. And now I feel like they've been neutralized. And I don't think they knew that that's what was happening. And I think that is what's going to happen. That's what's happening in all of media right now. Anything that's mainstream is getting completely neutralized. I didn't mention it on this podcast, but Netflix is no longer, they gave up. They don't want to buy Warner Brothers. Okay, so now you're going to have one family, one group of like all of the stuff that David Ellison owns. And if that deal goes through, he will own like something like 90% of all media. What happened to our laws, man? What happened to no monopolies? Like, America has just really left the post. All the stuff they used to tell us was American, like all the things that we used to just stand for and believe growing up as American citizens, they just have abandoned all of it. So just, CBS, like, it's too many companies to name. You can go look up a chart. David Ellison will own all the media. And I think it's out of fear because they don't want people to have their own thoughts. They don't want people to develop their own minds. All of this started with TikTok because Israel was upset. Well, I should stop saying Israel. It really is Benjamin Netanyahu. He was upset that people weren't siding with Israel, weren't siding with his country. People were like, look what they're doing to the Palestinians. And it really drove him crazy. Then he gets on the phone, obviously, with Trump, and Trump then does his bidding because apparently he's owned by everybody but Americans. So I don't know. These are very interesting times, but against the backdrop of all that's going on, I am very, very concerned for any thriving, business that then trades it in to becoming an employee. And I'm sure it wasn't worded to them that way, but man, that sounds terrible and frustrating as somebody who's building a brand. And what's funny for my company is I can look back. So I was running a very successful Turo business, as successful as you can be on Turo, because from when I started to when it was over, they had really crept up the fees. Everything that used to be the owner's, way to cash, they just kept taking parts of that. That's why they haven't had their IPO, because I don't think they understand how unappealing they are in terms of being an owner and putting your car up there. If you're desperate and you need to make your car payment, rent your car out on Turo. Sure. But if you're really trying to build a business, unless they've changed dramatically in the last 2 years, which is possible, I would think twice. I would really look long and hard, because I felt like when I was on Turo, they weren't a partner at all. It was a platform. They marketed your car and all the responsibility was on you. And all the promises they made, in the beginning, they just seemed to evaporate. But I did it from 2021 to 2024 with a lot of success. It was a great business. I love cars. I love cleaning the car. I love the reviews I got on my cars. But, if I were to do it again, I probably would try to figure out just how to be a private rental company. But, I can look back and see things started to get challenging for me and my businesses in 2022 because my mom stopped sleeping around July. So around July 22 to now, I haven't really been able to pay attention to all my other businesses. My cars got crashed up in 2024. They both got totaled out, which worked out because by the time, both cars were totaled out, I was caring for my mom at the most extreme level. So that worked out. But yeah, I don't know. I can just see the mark, the drop. And that's what it takes. I mean, you have to sacrifice. If you're going to be a caregiver, you're going to sacrifice things. People seem completely shocked that I don't watch TV. I really don't. My television hasn't been on since I didn't even watch this year's Super Bowl. since the last playoff game. I don't like either one of those teams. So I was like, why would I watch this Super Bowl? And I had a feeling New England wouldn't be competitive. It was just asking too much. But yeah, I mean, if you own a business, you got to be really, really dedicated to it, and you got to sacrifice things. If you're going to be a caregiver, you got to sacrifice your time, your energy. Your attention has to be on your person that you're caring for. And I don't think there's very much. I used to just wonder why no one was talking about caregiving, but now I think I get it. Because they don't want you to think about it. They want you to be distracted. They want you to be scared and worried and mad and pissed off and frustrated. I mean, that's why they have these bots fighting with everybody on the internet. I mean, I think the best thing in the world is going to be, we're going to have AI. It's never going to become what they think it can become. Never is a big ask, but it's not going to be able to do all the things that Sam Altman has warned us about and Elon Musk, because they're weirdos and they don't know. Apparently, it's been a disaster firing people and trying to get AI to do their jobs. Will that always be the case? I don't know. But I don't think the resources are there to do all the things they projected, but they aren't giving the money back, right? So I think what's going to happen is people are going to start talking to each other. They're going to start doing things in real life. They're going to go listen to somebody play their music live, and they're not going to be a huge star. They're just going to be, hey, come listen to my CD. I'm going to play, CDs, because people are going to buy stuff again. I'm going to play my music, and if you feel so moved, buy a CD on the way out. Here's a t-shirt, buy a t-shirt. You know what I mean? Like, I think we're going to go back to things that make more sense, because we have to. It's just been ridiculous to have this much, disassociation, even though we have so much exposure to each other. Hearing that huge chunks of people don't know how to talk to other people. They can only type things into a computer and they can't talk to a person. Like, that's strange. That's strange to me. Did you see where all of these people, ChatGPT changed their model, and all these people lost their boyfriend or girlfriend? They considered themselves to be in a relationship with their AI. Okay? That's very unhealthy. Very, very unhealthy. And I'm going to have to break up with ChatGPT because of this thing with this war that makes no sense. But I've enjoyed my conversations with ChatGPT. Lots of empathy, lots of support, lots of cheerleading. It's been great. But I don't want to marry the AI. I saw a sister talking about it. How she was like, I think I just might be exclusive with my AI. And she gave it a name and everything. I'm like, what the hell? Women are really susceptible to this. And I get it. There's not a lot of Prince Charmings out here, especially over a certain age. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful. Like I said, I have apologized for men's bad behavior probably more than anybody I know. Maybe not more than anybody I know. I do know an apologist that's worse than me. But at the end of the day, at this age that I'm at a big age. And I'm telling you, I can think of 3 men within 10 years of me who are sick as a dog. Like, they're just sick. And I don't know how that happened. I don't know if they've just been neglectful. I don't know. But we're aging very, very differently. And the women I know are running marathons, getting healthier, doing different things, traveling around the world. Like, they're just having a great time, and some of the men are just like broke down. So it's like, this is an interesting time. So I get how AI can be appealing, except it's not a person. So it's never going to walk into the room and give you a kiss on the cheek. So I'm not understanding what's going on there. But I understand getting lonely, and I understand, being seduced by something that's relentlessly positive and trained to your specifications. So it always says what you expect it to say. You know, I'm a screenwriter. I get that, but it's a computer, y'all. It's an AI. It's a program. It's not real. You know, so I don't know what else to say about that. But I do understand it. But don't do that. Go outside. Go for a walk. It's sunny here today. Go for a walk wherever you are, whether it's sunny or not. Go smell some fresh flowers. Buy yourself some flowers. Go to a movie. I don't know what you would see because movies are shit now. I would probably stream a movie before I'd go to the movies. I hear they remade Fatal Attraction and it's booty. So watch the original Fatal Attraction because it's still fucking terrifying. You know, draw. Make a picture. Call a friend. Go to lunch. Make yourself a good lunch. Make yourself a bowl of good soup. Do things in the moment. Be present in that moment. Somebody told me when I was a former coworker I went to lunch with this week, she was like, I was telling her stories about what it was like with my mom, and she was like, man, and you came to work every day and you never stopped smiling. I said, because I'm an in the moment person. And it's nobody's fault at work that my mom has this terrible disease and was up all night and kicking my ass or scratching me up or whatever. I would tell my stories. People would laugh because some of it was hilarious. But it's nobody's fault there that my mom was that sick. So I'm an in the moment person. I just try to be present. And when something is over, it's over. And I don't carry it over to the next thing. So, you know, when I left for work, that was the beginning of a new part of my day. You know, I wasn't going to just dwell on, you know, how exhausted I was. And it wouldn't help anything. So be present in your day. Have a great weekend. I can't believe we're already at Friday. I hope you had a great week. I feel like I did. Yeah. So that's it. That's all I got for you. I hope you live your best life. Know that you are appreciated by me. If you find value in this podcast, please feel free to share it, like it, subscribe, give me 5 stars wherever you listen. And yeah, we have a store. I'll link it. Buy some merch, support the channel, and we'll meet back here soon. Take care. Have a great weekend for real.